Yes, we are ready.
Kapil, you can start now.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I welcome you back. I once again welcome you all to this sixth day of the online classes of MA Part 2 English first semester for the syllabus for the program prescribed by Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur, being organized jointly by Rajkumar Kebal Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya Jaripatka, Nagpur, Vasantram Naik Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences, Nagpur, and J.M. Patel Arts, Commerce and Science College, Bhandara. The session, this evening session is for the 19th century American literature paper 3, that is 19th century American literature, and the resource person for the session is Dr. Shafiulla Khan. Sir will be dealing with Moby-Dick, and sir at present is head of the Department of English and NAC coordinator at Natwarlal Maniklal Dalal College of Arts, Commerce, Law and Management, Gondia, which is more famous as NMD College. He has 42 years of teaching experience, 20 research publications in various national and international journals, and one chapter he has contributed in conference proceeding. He has translated the life of Jomjo Maharaj. There's some disturbance.
Some audio disturbance is there.
Sir has translated the life of Jomjo Maharaj, a well-known social reformer of Vidarbha, from Marathi to English, which contributed in releasing a postal stamp on the great philanthropist by Government of India. Sir is also coordinator of Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University Study Center of the college, and has worked as a coordinator for NSS, that is National Service Scheme, Office College Unit. So on behalf of the organizing colleges, I welcome sir to this session and hand over the mic to him for presentation. Over to you, Dr. Khan. Khan sir? Hello.
Thank you so much, Kapil Singhel sir,
Okay.
for your kind introduction. And I am on this occasion, I would like to thank all the colleges who have been contributing for the online classes organized by Rajkumar Keval Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, Vasantrao Naik Government Institute of Arts and Social Sciences Nagpur, and J.M. Patel College of Arts and Commerce, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Bhandara. Conveners of these online classes, Dr. Sujata Vyas, Dr. Urmila Dabir Madam, Dr. Vikas Dhomne sir, and my friends, Dr. Karthik Panikar sir, Dr. Kapil Singhel sir. I thank you all on this occasion, giving me opportunity to share my knowledge with my students. And these classes are not only beneficial for all the students of the university, RTM Nagpur University, but my students also. So these lectures are helping us all. Before I start, I ask Panikar sir to may help me so that I can share the screen, sir. And once it is done, then I can continue
Yes,
my
please
lecture.
go ahead. I have enabled from my end.
Okay, sir. Okay. Let me
Uh-huh.
just share it.
But unfortunately, your video is not available to us, sir. We cannot see you. Is there
Is
something
it?
wrong at your end? Yeah, yeah.
But it is on my part, the video is on, sir. I am visible on
Now
my
we can
own
see you,
screen.
sir. Now we can see you, sir.
Okay.
Now we can see you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please go ahead, sir. First.
Yes, yes. Sharing
Yeah, yeah.
of the
Sharing is
screen
enabled,
has
sir. I
become
have
a
enabled sharing. You go to
okay.
the share screen. Yeah. Your PPT is already on, I suppose.
It is on, sir, but can it be seen now?
No, I mean, have you clicked on this share screen, this green button?
Yes, I have done so. The green button, but
On the arrow,
again, like
on the arrow,
yeah, yes,
on the green arrow. Yeah, on the green arrow.
yes, yes, sir. Green arrow. I'm trying to do it.
But we're not able to see your screen. You have to again
Yes, sir.
refresh that PPT, sir. Can you just refresh that PPT?
Let me do it.
Yeah, yeah. Take your time, no issues. Take your time. Just refresh it and then we'll try again.
I'm not getting actually that sharing means share part is
Sir, I
not.
mean, there is a window from where you can minimize this Zoom stream right now. Can you see the Zoom stream, the minimizing window that is there on the right, top right?
Okay, sir.
First, try to minimize it.
It happened earlier also, sir. Then
Just you have to go and refresh it. You have
refresh
to
my
go to the
PPT.
PPT. Yes, yes. Refresh your PPT, sir. Sir, are you trying it?
Yes, sir. I am still trying, sir. Trying to do it.
Uh-huh.
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
That green button is not working, sir. You are
No,
asking
you
me to.
just have to keep your cursor there for a second and it will appear.
Okay. Oh,
Towards the bottom of the screen, you just keep your cursor there. It will appear of its own.
okay.
Otherwise, it disappears. Can you see a at the bottom of the screen, sir?
Yes, it is there, sir. I can see
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh. But then keep your cursor there for a second or a couple of seconds. It should appear,
Okay.
I suppose. Uh-huh. Move it left and right towards at the bottom. Move the
But
cursor
the
left and
cursor,
right. Uh-huh.
uh,
Your
but
cursor.
the cursor is not coming on the share. It is staying on the cancel only, actually.
Okay.
Cancel part.
So first you cancel it, sir.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And now try afresh.
Okay. I am doing it, sir. Time
Uh,
and again.
Acha, can you do one thing? Can you
Uh,
share your PPT with me? Can you share it on my WhatsApp
okay, sir. Okay.
or email, whichever is convenient to you?
Um, shall I email it to you, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just a minute.
Karthik Panikar 2025@gmail.com.
Okay.
Once you mail it to me, you will get a couple of more seconds. Just keep trying because it would be easy for you to move the slide according to your
Yes.
pace.
Okay.
I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll have a plan B with me.
Okay. Okay.
Now I have made you the co-host also. See if it works now.
Huh, sir. Okay. I'm sending it before
Yeah, yeah.
I try.
You send it to me.
Karthik Panikar 71 at the rate Gmail will work, sir, or
2025.
2025? 2025. Okay.
202. Yeah.
Sent it, sir, without a subject actually.
Yeah, yeah, no issue.
Mm.
And in the meanwhile, now you keep
Uh,
trying.
yes, sir. I'll try. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now you can start.
Okay, sir.
Sir, are you sitting in some place where there's a lot of noise coming from the background actually? Can you close the
Okay.
door or do something like that?
Okay. Okay.
There is some
Eh,
noise
this-
that is coming from the in the background.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute.
Ah,
Is it okay now, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Please go. It's all yours now.
Okay. So, how can I change my slide, sir,
You don't
after
have to
this?
change. I will change according to your pace. You can just give me an indication next, something like that,
Okay.
and I'll
Okay.
do it at my end. Because
Okay.
now only I can operate it.
Right. Right. That is the problem. Let me try once more, sir, if I can share it.
Now you cannot, sir, because I have already shared it from you. Now
Okay.
you'll not
Okay.
be able to do it here.
Okay, sir. Right.
But I mean,
So,
yesterday we could manage it with Yogesh Sarode. I suppose
okay.
there won't be any problem.
Okay, sir.
I'll take the cue from you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Okay, you have. Thank you so much.
Nahin,
So,
okay.
good evening, students. Today we are going to take up this novel Moby-Dick, written by uh, Herman Melville, and this novel is all about sailors and the story of their life. In the next slide, you can see, uh, uh, sir, the next slide,
Yes,
please.
yes. Done it. I have done it. It is taking time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
Actually, I am moving the screen, but the screen has got stuck, I suppose. Just a minute. I'm moving the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Ah, ah.
So in this slide, you can see some pictures of um, ships and boats and people trying to tame one big whale, and such things are there. So the story is related to whaling business, which was a norm in the 18th and 19th century. And before I start telling story of this Moby Dick, which is meant for a big whale, sperm whale, let me tell you about the author himself. Author Herman Melville was born on 1st August 1819 in the city of New York. His parents were from a very rich family who settled in New York State of America. And in fact, both the parents came from very rich families, very highly respectable ancestor they had had. However, by the time Herman attained the age of 9, his father suffered heavy business losses and became bankrupt. Herman could not continue his education for long. At the age of 20, uh, he found a place in a ship as a crew member, and he started working in whaling ships. And his experience of working these ships uh, actually culminated in the writing of his many of the books. And this book also, Moby-Dick, which is really about a which was the name of a whale, a sperm whale. Uh, Next slide, please. The story is narrated by a person called Ismail, and there is a very famous tagline, "Call me Smile." This is how the story starts. Ismail is a penniless Manhattanite. Manhattan is a place in America, and this man, Ismail, belonged to that place, and he was attracted by sea, and as otherwise also he was uh, penniless. He had no vocation, so he decided to join some whaling ship to work for. After missing his connection to Nantucket, Nantucket is an island in America, and he was earlier in Nantucket, and he wanted to join some whaling ship there, but he couldn't do that. So he came to Bedford, New Bedford, for and stayed there some time, and then he had been to Massachusetts also for some time. His search for cheap lodgings, he wanted to stay in some cheap hotel because he had not much money. He came near a hotel called the Spouter Inn, within in the jaws of whale-shaped bar, and in that hotel there was a whale-shaped bar, and there was a bartender called Jonah there. So he came into that hotel, and he somehow got a room, but that room was not meant for him alone, because there was some other person with whom he had to share the room. The inn is full, but Ismail avoids returning to the bitter cold by agreeing to share a bed with aloof brownie harpooner called Queequeg. So he had to share his bed with a person. He was a harpooner, and he had to share a bed with him. Uh, he was not happy sharing bed with anybody, but unfortunately it was too cold outside, so he had to agree sharing bed with that person. And this person, quick came from another world, and he had strange ways and strange looks. So in the beginning, Ismail was rather afraid of staying with such a person. Harpooners are people who are employed in the whaling ships, and they uh, you can see in this picture, students, that a man is standing with a spear like thing in his hand, and when they throw the spear towards the whales or such fishes, it gets stuck in their body, and that uh, harpoon or spear like structure is also attached with a rope. So this is how whaling, means hunting of the whales, is done by these harpooners. So harpooners are employed by the whaling ships. So this man, uh, Queequeg, of the Western world. Hello, sir. Are you getting
Sir,
my
yeah,
voice?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So after spending the night with Queequeg, the fear went away. They became good friends, and soon they started thinking of their future, planning about their future. And Ismail went to a church, nearby church, which was attended by these sailors. And in that church, there was a Father Maple who gave a sermon, and in that sermon he told the story of some biblical figure um, called Jonah, and how Jonah was punished for disobedience by God, and how he was eaten by a whale. And while he was being eaten by the whale, he repented his mistake, and he accepted his mistake and punishment. And at that moment God forgave him, and the whale came out of the water and vomited him. So this story was narrated by Father Maple in the church. And after attending the church, Ismail came back, and he smoked with his friend Queequeg. They shared their past life with each other, and they also shared about each their experiences with each other, and they decided to join some whaling ship for employment. Next slide, please, sir. In this slide, students, you can see this is the strange fellow Queequeg, and harpoon is there in his hand. Harpoon, you can see, is a sharp weapon which is used by these people to hunt the whales. And Queequeg reveals that on his native island, he was a king's son. It was his plan to explore the West and bring its art and culture to his people. Yet when he arrived in the Sag Harbor and Nantucket, he concluded that humankind was evil everywhere, and thus chose to keep his native beliefs and habits. So Queequeg, who came from a third world, a backward kind of world, and he wanted to learn the ways of this modern Western world, but he found that this modern world is rather bad enough, and so he kept his beliefs with him rather than learning the new ways of the Western world. Like Ismail, he is an outcast. The new friends commit to making their next seaward adventure together on a schooner to Nantucket. Their cross-cultural friendship draws curious stares and jeers. So these two people, when they were traveling in a boat, in a ship, they were mocked by a group of people because they belong to two different cultures, and they were strange friends with different skin colors and different looks. So they were mocked at by the people in that ship. And Queequeg was rather angry when they were behaving like that. And he, in fact, physically tried to fight with one such person during mm, uh, this voyage. But after some time they became friends, because one of the traveler fell in the water while they were traveling, and it was Queequeg who was quick enough to jump into the water and save the life of that traveler. So soon all the people who were mocking them, they became friends with Queequeg and uh, Ismail. So this is how these people came closer to each other, and they decided to search. As I told you, they decided to search job in a whaling ship, and there were a number of whaling ships there, and they chose one of the ships which was named as the uh, Peacock. Next slide, sir. Yes, Pequod was the whaling ship which was finally chosen by these two friends to work for. Though Queequeg is a seasoned whaler, the mm, the harpooner was a bit superstitious person, he asked Ismail to go to that whaling ship and mm, uh, seek employment there. And he asked him to go alone. He did not want to go along with him. So it happened that Ismail went to that ship, Pequod, and there he agreed to sign a contract uh, to work for it. And the name Pequod is taken from an extinct tribe of Massachusetts, it is said, and it had that Pequod ship, whaling ship, had appearance of some old things which reminded of good old days. So people became nostalgic about. So they chose to work for the ship. Smile meets the Pequods, the owners, and they, after signing on the crew, Smile regards not investigating his new captain with the name of an evil biblical king, Ahab. And it came out later on that some mm, uh, Ahab was the captain of that ship, and Ahab is a name taken from again another biblical story, and an evilish biblical king was named as Ahab. So, had he known that the name of that captain was Ahab, he could not have joined it because he too was a bit superstitious about working in a ship which was captained by a person with such evil name. One of the owners explained that Captain Ahab is an educated good man who became melancholy after losing his leg to a monstrous whale, fulfilling a prophecy from his infancy. And it was also told to Mr. Smile, the narrator of the story, that Captain Ahab is a good man, is educated man, but he is rather sad nowadays because he had lost one of his legs uh, to a very big whale in some whaling adventure. A big whale had chopped off one of his legs, and it was a prophecy when he was a very small child. He was told that his one of his legs would be taken away by some whale. So the prophecy came true, it is said. But this man, Ahab, was still continuing his work as a captain of a whaling ship, and it is told that he wanted to take revenge um, on that whale which had taken away one of his legs, and he wanted to kill it, and that is why he started a voyage in this whaling ship called Pequod. Later, as they return from signing Queequeg onto the Pequod's crew, Smile and Queequeg meet a ragged sailor, Elijah. And while they were returning after signing some contract of working with Pequod, they met a sailor called Elijah, who delivers obscure hints and warnings about the well-being of their souls. Um, Captain Ahab and their upcoming voyage. And he told things which were rather incomprehensible to these people, rather obscure to these people. They could not understand, but they could see that he was talking about something wrong happening. He warned them uh, uh, of working with Ahab and working in that ship and going for that voyage. Days pass. Finally, the ship summons its crew for departure. In the early morning mist, Ismail vaguely sees other sailors approaching the vessel, his fellow shipmates, he assumes, but Elijah reappears and rankles the two men by suggesting they won't find the sailors on the boat. Indeed, when the two friends board the ship is deserted except for a sleeping rigger. Captain Ahab is on board. They soon learn, but won't leave his cabin. So finally, the voyage started, though they did not find anybody on the deck of the ship. They heard that the captain had come, but he remained in his cabin. He did not meet anybody, and uh, there was only a person employed for the work of uh, uh, as a rigger. He was found on the ship. So somehow the voyage started, and all people started coming on the deck who had to start the voyage. Students, you can see in this particular slide a man standing with one artificial leg, and this man is Ahab. He is holding a harpoon in his hand, and one of his legs is artificial, uh, made of uh, whale's bone. People prepared such legs. Sailors used to have such kinds of legs who lost their limbs. They prepared such artificial legs. So on Christmas Day, the ship heaves seaward, yet Ahab still hasn't surfaced. Ahab, the captain, did not come out. Though the sail started, Ismail becomes acquainted with the ship's officers, the prudent, dutiful first mate, Starbuck. So the officers met with each other. Starbuck was the first person who was rather dutiful and honest person. The carefree, jocular second mate was Stubb, who was a cheerful person. Stubb was a happy-go-lucky, and cheerful kind of person. And the short, aggressive hunter, Flask. These three people, the third mate, all these people met there, while Queequeg serves as a Starbucks harpooner. So Starbuck, the first mate's harpooner, was Queequeg. The Native American Tastago worked as harpooner for Stubb, and the tall African Dagu assisted Flask as harpooner. So every person had his own harpooner, and these people, what did they do? Whenever they sighted a shark, a whale, they lowered their boats into the sea from their whaling ship, and then they attacked the whale with their harpoons, which are attached with ropes, and from all sides the whale is uh, attacked by harpoons, and when the harpoons got fixed in its body, they finally kill it. So this is what is the uh, mm, job of the whaling ships: killing the whales, hunting the whales, and then using its huge body, different parts of its huge body, as it has its own commercial value, and they it also gave them lot of oil. The oil gathered from the body of these whales was used to be very useful in those days. So it was a very important job of the whaling ships to hunt the whales and get oil from its body. So all these people got together in the ship. After days at sea, Captain Ahab shows himself. So after many days, finally Ahab came out, the grim graying captain with a leg of carved whalebone, bears a scar down his face and neck. So finally the captain came out. He was a serious kind of person, and mm, uh, as I told you, one of his leg was made from the whalebone, and on his face there was a deep scar which went down up to his neck. So, in passing days and nights, he lingers moodily on deck, and he used to walk on the deck, and his walk was symbolized by the sound of his um, artificial leg. One morning, he suddenly shouts for his men's attention, and they are in the whale territory. He announces um, that all the crew members must look for a white whale, and this white whale is actually known as Moby-Dick. He wanted to hunt this whale, and he told that whoever would first sight this whale will be given a golden coin. Uh, yes, sir. So next, sorry. So one night, Fedella, the Persian, spies a whale spout from the masthead, and as you know, these whaling ships have masts long uh, um, projected poles which are high into the air in the sky, and standing from those masts, people could see things coming from far away sea. And one of the mast men saw some spout. Spout means the front portion of whale, the mouth part of whale. And strangely, no one sees a second spout. Just days later, the midnight spout appears again, but once more it disappears without trace. The spout appears to lure the ship onward, and some of the crew may attribute it to Moby-Dick. So it was considered that the spout they had seen was of the whale Moby-Dick, and which they were searching for, and they started uh, chasing it. They started going after it. The ship sails in eerily pleasant weather until it enters stormy seas filled with strange, vague creatures. Sea ravens appear and begin landing on the ship. So they went into a region where there were so many different kinds of animals in the sea, and they also saw different types of birds coming and sitting on the whaling ship called Pequod, as if it is deserted, and still the midnight spout haunts the crew. So the crew was still searching for that spout of the whale, and they were going after it. Eventually, the Pequod nears another craft, so they pass by a craft, another ship called Goni, or the name of that uh, ship was Albatross also, which is bleached white and streaked red with rust. So they asked the people, the crew on that ship, whether they have seen any white whale, but they denied seeing any such whale. However, another passing sperm whale, whaler, the town host soon brings a tale of Moby Dick to the Pequod. But after some time, there was another ship which passed by Pequod, and another ship known as Town Ho. And this ship and the crew members told the story of Moby Dick, and how cruel that whale is, and how it attacked their ship. A cruel, jealous officers persecution had spurred one crew member of the town hall to plot murderous revenge, but the white whale beat the crewmen to it. So uh, they told the story how they also wanted to kill it, but in the process, one of their crew member got killed. When the officer hunted the white whale, the animal seized him in its jaws and took him below. So they told the story how one of their officers was killed by this giant whale. Toward Java, Dagu thinks he spies the white whale, and the ship lowers its whaling boats, but the white creature is a giant squid, purportedly the sperm whale's only food. So when they traveled towards Java, Dagu the harpooner thought that he saw um, a white whale, and when they pursued that white whale, they found that it was not whale but some squid, giant squid, another kind of creature, and which is actually a food for white whale. Some of the crew interpret this rare sight as another omen, but Quick says it means they will encounter a sperm whale soon. So some of the crew members thought that it was not a good sign, encountering a giant squid. But Queequeg says that they will finally find out the white whale. Deaths, prophecies, and talismans. So finally, the story is coming uh, closer to the encounter with white whale, which is the purpose of the ship, the ship Pequod, which started its journey to hunt down the white whale, and its captain was very eagerly looking for the white whale so that they can finally take revenge on it. Indeed, a tranquil sperm whale soon surfaces before the ship, and the crew set to their job on their boats. Tastago harpoons the creature, lance in hand, stub violently take the whale's life. So they saw a whale in the process, not the white whale they are looking for, another whale, and they harpoon it. Tastago was the person who harpoons it through the harpoon on it, and finally Stubb was the person who kills the that whale. They tow the corpse back to the ship where Ahab, now aloof and unsatisfied, disappears to his cabin. And Ahab is not happy killing a normal whale. He wanted to kill that sperm whale, that giant whale. Nevertheless, they killed the whale and they took parts of his body. They also cooked it, Stubb celebrating his conquest by dining on whale steak. Means its body parts are cooked by them and they ate it. Um, Alongside in the ocean, sharks take on the corpse, and remaining parts of the body of that whale were eaten by the sharks in the sea. They hang the whale's head from the boat and toss the remaining left to the sea, like the floating corpse of other whales. It will become an object of superstition for passing ships. This is what is generally done by the whaling ships. They take whatever they want from the bodies of such whales, and remaining parts are thrown in the water. And they took the head of that whale just as a symbol of their hunting. Right. Presently, the Pequod encounters another Nantucket whaling ship, the Jeroboam, which is based by an epidemic. A crew member of that ship believes he is the Archangel Gabriel and commands a following as a prophet. Gabriel warned his own ship against hunting Moby-Dick, believing the whale is God incarnate. So they came across another ship called Jeroboam, and the captain of that ship considered himself as if he is an archangel Gabriel, a prophet, and he warned his crew members not to kill Moby Dick because he thought that Moby Dick uh, um, is a god incarnate itself, and Jeroboam officer ordered the harpooning of Moby Dick anyway, and the whale struck the chief mate, who then fell to his death in the sea. And a person who tried to kill Moby Dick fell into the sea, and it was killed by Moby Dick. Next slide, sir. So this is what it was happening one after the another. Moby Dick was being chased by Pequod and Captain Ahab and other people, and one by one, Moby Dick meanwhile was attacking the ships and killing people who were trying to kill it, who were trying to hunt it. But so far, there was no encounter between Pequod and this white whale called Moby Dick. So, which they were desperately searching for. Uh, yes, next slide. You can see this is a giant white whale's picture, and it is said that these whales, sperm whales, are the biggest creature on the earth, their length spans up to 76 to 75 feet, that is about 25-meter long, and they are tons of in weight. So they are giant creatures, and that is why they are the whaling, means hunting of the whales, was done in those days because it offered lot of oil, whale oil, which was very useful in those days and had great commercial value. So they are giant creatures. At the Straits of Sunda, the Pequod rejoices at spotting seemingly thousands of sperm whales traveling together. But as the Pequod chases the whales, pirates give chase to the ship. So, at one place, Straits of Sunda is a place. The strait is a narrow part of ocean between two lands. So, some Straits of Sunda is there in the ocean where they were traveling, and there they saw thousands of whales, and they also were chased by sea pirates. You might have heard, students, pirates travel used to travel in the sea, and they attacked these ships for whatever money they had. And that is why ships and ship owners had to be careful from the sea pirates, and they had to keep arms with them. Even the firearms were kept by them to save themselves from the pirates. So but this Pequod somehow escaped from these pirates because it was quick enough, fast enough not to be caught by the pirate ships. The Pequod uh, mm, outspeeds its pursuers, and on Starbuck's lowered boat, Queequeg harpoons a whale. The stricken animal drags the boat into the frantic whale herd. The boat's inhabitants survive and get their way. So, meanwhile, Starbuck kills another whale, though there was a dangerous encounter of with that whale, but somehow they survived with their hunt. The boat's inhabitants survive and get their whale. Yet, despite the great herd and many wounded whales, the Pequod takes just one more among them. Meanwhile, the crew has come to view a gold coin that Ahab nailed on the mast as Moby Dick's talisman. So, finally, as I told you earlier also, that Ahab had decided that anybody who would sight mm, Moby Dick, the white whale, first and tell about it, he would be given a gold coin. So they all were trying to hunt down that white whale, and they were very eager and anxious to encounter the whale. The Pequod's crew asks the next passing ship about the white whale, and the unfamiliar English captain holds up a prosthetic arm in response. And there was another ship passing by Pequod, and there was an English captain who was asked about the presence of white whale in that area, and he replied in negative. He lost his limb while pursuing the white whale, and unlike Ahab wolves, he will never seek revenge. And he also, it was told that that man lost his hand when he was pursuing that white whale. Uh, but he did not want to take revenge on it, and he wanted to keep himself away from that white whale called Moby Dick. Returning to Pequod, Ahab splinters his ivory limb, refreshing his misery. He orders the ship's carpenter to make a new one. So by this time, Ahab is getting rather frustrated, and when he came back from the boat to his ship, he smashed his artificial uh, leg on the deck of the ship into pieces. He was so angry that he smashed his leg into pieces, and then he ordered the carpenter in the ship to prepare another leg for him, another artificial leg for him. So now, students, we are coming to the end of the story. Confronting the death. Soon after, when Starbuck gently admonishes Captain Ahab for neglecting a leak among the whale oil casks, the stormy captain points a loaded musket at his first mate. So uh, there was a leak in the caskets in which oil is kept, and um, um, Starbuck warns his captain about that leak, and there was a kind of confrontation between these two people with that matter, and ultimately Queequeg goes and tries to find out that leak, and so that it can be stopped. And in the process of searching that leak, he gets ill because of that mm, um, smell of that leak and all that. Queequeg becomes ill, and he becomes so ill that he fears that he would die. And then he asks the carpenter in the ship to prepare a coffin in case he dies, but ultimately he recovers. The ship reaches the Pacific Ocean, and Ahab commands the ship's blacksmith to weld him a new harpoon for Moby-Dick. The Pequod passes a ship experiencing good luck, which for a day seems to rub off. Ahab and his crew take 4 whales, but soon after, Ahab dreams of hearsays. Fedella prophesies that captain can die only after seeing two hearsays on the sea, one not made by mortal hands and the other American wood only. Ham could kill the captain, adds the prophet. So finally, after reaching into Pacific Ocean, Ahab asked his blacksmith to prepare a fresh harpoon so that Moby Dick, to kill Moby Dick. Meanwhile, Fedella uh, tells him that he could die while pursuing and killing Moby Dick only if he uh, experiences two things. One, experience will not be made of mortal hands, and other thing will be made of American wood. And there is some uh, herb which only could kill Captain Ahab. So all these prophecies are done by Fedella. Suddenly, a typhoon hits the Pequod. Lightning strikes the mastheads, generating St. Elmo's fire, sparks of candle-like bright plasma. Ahab grasps the masts, lighting roads to show his fearlessness and defiance. And suddenly, there was lightning and thunder mm, in the sky, and Ahab uh, again becomes fearless, and he decides to kill this um, Moby Dick, and he holds his harpoon. Starbuck cries out, drawing their attention to Ahab's newly welded harpoon. It has caught fire amid his sea-wrecked whaling boat. God is against their mission, Starbuck warns. The first mate begs to return home. So the thunder and lightning and everything uh, that appears in the sea, and a kind of stormy weather, all the other members of the crew and mates thought that it was not right to pursue white whale any longer, and they thought that they should stop their mission. But Ahab was a very determined person, rather a stubborn person, and he did not want to go back, and he did not want to stop the mission. Many of the crew support returning, but Ahab brandishing the burning harpoon, threatening any sailor who breaks his oath of hunting the white whale. And some of the crew members decided to return back. In that event, Ahab threatened them, and he told that they had taken an oath to kill that white whale and they would not go back. But Ahab brandishes the burning harpoon, threatening any sailor who breaks his oath of hunting the white whale. Uh, um, and he threatens them that they should not break their oath. Presently, the storm calms, and Starbuck approaches the captain's cabin to report the weather. He finds the captain sleeping and contemplates whether to shoot Ahab to save the crew. However, he can't bring himself to violence. So finally, the storm calms down, and one of the crew members goes to tell Captain Ahab that the sea is calm now, and he finds that Ahab was sleeping. And at that moment, he thought that it would be Starbuck was the person. He thought that he should kill Ahab because the mad pursuit of Ahab uh, for that white whale might kill all the people in the ship. So it would be better to kill Ahab rather than to allow all people getting killed. So he thought that he should shoot him, but he could not do so. And finally, the end comes after passing an islet of shrieking seals that unsettles the crew. The ship enters Moby-Dick's territory. So they pass by an area where thousands of seals were there, shouting and shrieking, and then they finally enter the area where this giant white whale lived. Uh, in its territory, a crew member, possibly dozing, falls into the sea from his masthead, lookout, and drowns. The ship loses its life preserver, trying to save him. So the crew decides that quick unused coffin must be adapted as a replacement. So what happens? A mast man was dozing off when he fell from the mast into the sea, and a person who tried to save him, who tried to save him, he also got killed. So all was going in wrong direction. People were getting killed, and they were not happy with the happenings. All the crew members thought that they should stop this mission of killing the white whale. The next day, a ship called the Rachel reports that it saw Moby Dick just the day before and is still searching for boat of men who had harpooned the whale. The captain's 12-year-old son is on the missing boat, and the father begs Ahab to help him search, but Ahab refuses. So they meet crew members of a boat. A captain of that ship told that his son was missing in a boat, and he uh, asked Ahab to help him find out his son, but Ahab refuses because Ahab is only has only one mission, and that mission was to kill Moby Dick. While passing a ship giving a funeral for a whaleman lost to Moby Dick, the Pequod is baptized by the splash of corpse entering the sea. Shortly after, Ahab regards his reflection in the ocean and for a moment grasps the madness of his mission. He directs Starbuck to stay alive by remaining on ship. When Moby Dick appears, Starbuck nearly persuades Ahab to give up his doomed whale hunt, but by speaking of their respective families, but Ahab returns to his belief that the hunt is fated. So again, Starbuck pursues um, Ahab that he should stop his search for this whale, and this mission is not going to get accomplished because it was difficult to kill that giant whale, and rather in the process they might kill, and they have families at home to look after, so they should not go for such mad mission and they should stop it. But Ahab, as we have learned, he is a person who does not go back from his mission. At dawn, the ship follows the powerful scent of sperm whale, and Ahab soon spies Moby Dick. So finally, they saw Moby Dick and they started chasing it. The captain has won the gold coin. The ship's the gold coin was won by Ahab himself because he was the first to sight it. The ship's whaling boats lower, except for Starbucks. The white whale soon dives deep, and the boats await its surfacing. Seabirds flock on Ahab's boat, and the man sees a white figure hurting up from the depths. The whale strikes the grips Ahab's boat in the jaws as Ahab rushes to respond. So they lowered their boats, the way with their harpooners, and they wanted to harpoon Moby Dick, but Moby Dick, while makes a deep dive, dives deep in the sea, and they waited for its coming back, and it comes back and it hits the boats. Moby Dick bites the boat in half, forcing the captain into the sea, and Moby Dick uh, breaks the boat of Ahab, and he falls into the sea. Frenzied, the white whale circles the wreckage with Ahab its epicenter. At the last minute, the Pequod intervenes, scaring off the whale. So, while his boat was into pieces and he was somehow trying to save himself, Ahab was trying to save himself. Uh, 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 Pequod, the ship came to his rescue, and the whale swam away when Pequod came closer to save Ahab. Last slide, sir. Thank you. The next day, as the ship's crew think they see a far off spout, Moby Dick bursts out of the water near the Pequod. The crew and Ahab race to their boats. The whale charges the three boats open jawed. All three harpooners snare the whale, but its frenetic movements causes the lines to tangle. So, as I told you, what happens, these harpooners, they lower their boats into the sea and they attack the whale from all sides. And these harpoons are attached with ropes, but this whale, being very smart and dangerous, it entangles all the ropes, and uh, s- it drags the boats while they were trying to harpoon it and they were trying to kill it. So all the ropes got tangled, stubs and flasks boats dashed together, and because of the tangling of the ropes, the boats of stub and flask, they uh, uh, dashed with each other. The whale charges Ahab's boat from below, sending it spinning above the waves, and again this whale uh, from struck Ahab's boat from beneath and threw it into the air. Victorious again, Moby Dick swims away, dragging the whaler's line with him. Ahab's ivory limb is destroyed, the boats are lost, and so is Fedallah. Ahab muses that the Parsi was prophesied to die first but reappear before Ahab could die. Throughout the night, the crew prepare the spare boats. On the third day, Ahab is again the first to spot Moby Dick before lowering his boat. He calls Starbuck near to shake hands. And finally, on the third day, uh, Ahab knew that that was the final day, whether he would be able to live or live and kill the uh, the white whale, or he himself would die that day. So it was the final day. So he shakes hand with his fellow Starbuck, and Starbuck comes to tears when he shakes hands with his friend. And finally, they decide to take a last chance. But he pushes on Starbuck, observing. Um, has intimations of his own death. Suddenly, the waters churn, the Moby-Dick breaches and damages two boats tied to the whale's back among the ropes, and Lances uh, is the dead Fedella. And they saw that Moby-Dick is again appearing in the water surface, and mm, uh, in one of the ropes, the dead body of Fedella, one of the ropes which is attached with the body of Moby Dick through harpoon, the dead body of Fedella was floating. So Ahab realizes that he was told that he would see something which is not made of man's hand. Fedella prophesied return and first hearsay, but the captain has yet to see the second hearsay that signals his death. Most Moby Dick again swims away, and again Ahab pursues. He hurls harpoon at Moby Dick, saying, "From hell's heart I stab at thee." So finally, mm, uh, Ahab throws his harpoon with all his might and all hatred for it. Moby Dick receives the blow and rushes towards forward with great speed. A rope got entangled round Ahab's neck, and he was thrown into the ocean only to be dragged down into the water. So it happens in the process that a rope gets entangled in the neck of Ahab, and he was thrown into the water, and he gets dragged inside the water and gets killed finally. So that is the sad story of a person who wanted to take revenge, but ultimately gets killed himself. Nearby, the Pequod sinks rapidly. The harpooneers still in mast heads. As Tastago goes under, he continues to hammer Ahab's red flag to the mainmast, securing a live hawk that pecks at the flag. Only Ismail, the accidental bowsman of Ahab's boat, survives the suction of the sinking ship when its coffin life preserver pops back to the surface. He finds refuge there. Days later, Rachel rescues him, enabling him to share the grim tale. So finally, it was Ismail who survives the whole process, and he narrates this story to the people. So this is how this is last uh, slide. A movie is made on this novel. You can see some pictures. This picture is from an old movie in which Gregory Peck, a very famous star, Hollywood star, can be seen with his white ivory leg. So, students, you can see the movie also if you want to grasp the story in uh, full motion picture also. So it's a novel of sailors and hunting of whales, and a man called Ahab. His mission to kill a white whale to take revenge, and in the process, how he himself gets killed, and the experiences of sea life can be seen in this novel. So that is how the story ends. Thank you very much, students. Thank you, Karthik sir, for being so patient and uh, being with me for such a long time. Uh, Thank you so much, sir.
The pleasure is absolutely mine, sir. No issues. Kapil sir.
Yeah. So, thank you, Dr. Khan. With sir started with the background to the author, to his family, and how the circumstances changed. Gave us the background to the younger days of the writer, and then the whole story. As far as I know, the whole story he has covered. He has summarized the story with every important points, and the important, the name of the characters and some important aspects of the novel were in the bold. They were put in bold in the PPTs to facilitate the memory of students. So thank you, sir. On behalf of the organizers, I thank Dr. Khan for being here this evening to deliver this lecture and declare that the session for the day is over. And we are meeting next morning with a presentation from Mr. Rathore, Govind Rathore. We'll be meeting again next morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.